Hey guys, it's me, Mike. I'm gonna try to keep this down because it's the middle of the night as I'm recording this, and I don't want to bother my neighbors. Um, since I'm having a sleepless night, I wanted to talk about something that kind of came to my mind that I thought would make for a good video kind of topic. It'll probably be unscripted, as I'm sure you can imagine by this, but I'll just try to say what comes to mind. I think a lot of people think that they need a perfect life. They need perfect circumstances to live their best life, as people say, or just to live a good, honest life. And where I'm standing right now in my life, I don't think people need that. I don't think you need a perfect life or perfect circumstances to be truly satisfied with the life you're living. You know, you could make billions of ungodly amounts of money and still wind up very unsatisfied, but like if you're working at a job like in retail or flipping burgers or whatever the heck else, even if you're doing that, if you still feel overall satisfied with the life you lead and you think that you're being true to the core of what makes you who you are and what you value, then to me, it doesn't matter what job you have, how much you make, whatever else you're doing. If you feel like you're living a life that's true to who you really are, regardless of anything else, to me, that's a good life. Things don't have to be perfect. You could think, oh, I need to work on myself a bit. That's fine. Maybe you do. We all need to work on ourselves in some kind of way. Nobody's perfect, and anyone who thinks they're perfect might be a narc. But I don't think you have to a perfect life um to have a good life, You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have the answers to every question. I mean, like, what is life but continually seeking answers to some of the biggest questions out there, But no, I think this I think striving for perfection in any or all areas of life, I think is really doing ourselves as people a disservice. I'd like to think many of us, were born and we do our best to live the life that we want to live, or a life that is pleasing to others to some extent. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole details of people pleasing, that's its own thing, but I think most of us, we reach a certain point in our life where we want to live according to some core value, is what I believe. Now, yes, we can get led astray, but we can always, as people, steer ourselves right back. I'm not going to say in the right direction, but at least another direction. So, whatever you want out of life, whether it's more money, more good connections, whether you want a partner or whatever stuff like that, you can want that. To some extent, that's fine. But if you can really look at yourself and your life, and even with the absence of those kinds of things, still overall feel satisfied with the kind of life you live, To me, that's a good life. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to please everyone. You don't have to answer to everyone. But if you feel you are living a life that is true to who you are and true to the life you'd want to live and you'd want your loved ones and friends to live, then I think that's a good life. I really do. Random 12 a.m. rambles and musings, I guess. Take care, guys. Stay safe.